Looks like I've been mucking around in acrylic paint again. Hi, it's Stephen here for Bland Designs, and this is vlog number, check my notes, 32 on Monday, August the 21st. And today we're supposed to be having a eclipse of the sun. Apparently where we're located, we'll only see about 70% of it around 1 o'clock or something like that. But I guess in other parts of the United States, they'll get up to about 99% of the total eclipse. So that's kind of fun. So remember what everybody always told you, don't stare at the sun or you'll go blind. Okay, so what have I been up to this week? Well, first of all, I did do the monthly mission inspiration page with Mike Deacon, and here it is. And this is in my recycled cookbook that I've been using as an art journal, and I think it turned out pretty good. I'm really trying to focus on being more selective in my collage work, and I'm really liking this book. I really am. So there it is. Now I did do a video, and I'll come to that a little later on in today's vlog. And I've also did some more acrylic pouring, and this time I tried a new recipe by Anne-Marie Ritteroff, and I got cells. And I was excited about that. The only thing I wasn't so excited about was my color choice. I'm still having a little problem with the color choice business. But it's not that bad. So this was the first one that I did. Now there is silicone in this, and I haven't varnished these yet, so I've got to clean the silicone off and then varnish it. I'm going to do that today. But it turned out pretty good, and of course I took pictures of it for cards, and it makes great looking cards. And this was the second one. The second one, actually, I had a little accident on this one, but it was a fortunate accident. See this white space here? I haven't decided which way is up. I think I like it this way better. See this white space that's here? Well, I opened up a drawer that was sitting above where this painting was drying, and it was still wet, and a piece of acetate fell out, stuck on it. I didn't notice that it had until a couple of hours later, so I pulled it up. So it pulled up some of the color and whatnot, but I kind of like that in the center of it. So happy accident, I guess. So like I said, these have not had the silicone cleaned off them yet, and they haven't been varnished, and I'm going to do that later today. Let's see, what else? Well, the big news of the week is the Cricut Maker. It was released on Sunday morning at 12:05 a.m. So I stayed up Saturday night. There was a whole hullabaloo going on about the whole thing. Several of the YouTube channels I tune into regularly were doing special Cricut release parties and everything online. And so at 5 after 12, I was online at Cricut.com, and lo and behold, I couldn't order it. It still said it was out of stock. But then I see a button. I tried refreshing the screen several times, and I see a button down at the bottom that says wish list. So I thought, what the heck? Let's click on that. Hit the wish list, it put it in, then it said, do you want to check out? And I said, yep, I want to check out. So I checked out, and shipping is like cheap, $14.95 American to ship it, which I thought, whoa, that's really cheap. I didn't expect that. So anyways, I've got it ordered, and I ordered a few other little accessories for it. And I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting for the axe to fall. It was far too easy. It's not in the States, they don't have a problem. But you know, as soon as we start getting things here across the border, who knows what. So I'm waiting to see the axe fall. And it could fall in several ways. One, I'm going to get an email from Cricut telling me that they're not shipping it to Canada right now, blah, blah, blah. Two, that the shipping price was quoted wrong, and it's going to cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars more to get it. Or three, I'm going to get nailed with duty. I don't know. So I'll let you know, see what happens. I just checked my account on their website this morning. Yesterday it said shipping unavailable which means that they hadn't processed it yet. Today, that part's blank, but it says in process. So I've ordered many things from them before. I have an account with them. So everything at this point looks normal. We'll see. So I'll keep you informed about that. I hope by this time next week when I do this vlog, I'm got a smile from ear to ear because I got my new Cricut Maker. We'll see. Okay, so what's up next? Well, speaking of the Cricut Maker and the big parties and everything that were online, one young fellow who I've just recently subscribed to his YouTube channel, he was having a big thing from 11:30 till about 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning about the release of the Cricut Maker. He is an official ambassador for them as well. He's full of life, and I thought, you know, I should review his YouTube channel. So I'm going to do that, and here it is. This week's YouTube channel is one by a young man named Tanner Bell. This young man's been doing YouTube videos since he was about 12 years old, and I think now he's around 19 and going to college. His enthusiasm, to say the least, is contagious. He's bubbly, he's alive, but he also knows how to stay on topic, and he does know the Cricut machines very, very well. He's actually an ambassador, I think, for Cricut, and he's got some great ideas on how to use the Cricut. His videos are pretty professional but fun, and he's got a lot of inspiring ideas. He does a lot of DIY projects, home decor stuff, and of course lots of things with the Cricut. So although his enthusiasm can be just a little bit much, to the point where it sort of sucks all the oxygen out of the room, it is a station or channel, I mean, to take a look at. Okay, so Tanner's a lot of fun, somewhat a little too bubbly, but I guess that's all because he's young. Anyways, speaking of videos, okay, I'm just looking down my list. You'll find down below, I've listed my latest videos that I made last week. One's on using the Cricut to print and cut JPEGs. Now, a lot of people know how to do this, but there are a couple of little tricks involved. And one of those little tricks is when you scan something, oftentimes you'll pick up what I call blemishes. Your scanner bed isn't completely clean. It might have a few dust particles that you don't even notice, but the scanner picks up, or things like that. Extraneous little marks that come out in your JPEG. Well, the problem with that when you convert it over for it to become a cut file for Cricut is that Cricut picks up on those little marks and it will cut them. Now, usually it's not a big problem. It just means it takes more time to cut out your image. However, you can get rid of them. Now, in that video, I show you how to do that, a couple of methods. One of the methods, though, that I show you has to do with converting the file over to a cut file, then going into what's called the contour setting. Well, that was working fine for me when I made that video. Yesterday, I was doing a whole bunch of scans and cleaning them up and to cut them, and I could not get that contour feature the way I described it in my video to work. I don't know why. The only thing I can think of is they just had a plug-in update for the design space, and I'm wondering if something in that update has caused this particular feature not to work the way it did before. I don't know why they would change that, or maybe there was another part of the program they changed and that affected that. I have no idea. So anyways, it's still not a big problem, but it was really nice to have that because, as you'll see in the video, it really got rid of a lot of those annoying little blemishes, so you didn't have to take them out one by hand. Anyways, check out that video. You can check out the video on my Mission Inspiration page for this month. It's there too. I also do a review of Vicki Boutin's water-soluble crayons. I got them last week and I tried them out. And so I do have a very lengthy review and basically a trial of how to use the product. So you might want to check that out. And then I have an acrylic pouring video number 15, and that was the using the new recipe that gave me all the cells, and I'm showing you how I did that. So that's what's new on my channel. What else? Okay, so now we're into what's pissing me off this week. Okay. If you watch, or if you've already seen it, the review of the Vicki Boutin crayons, you will notice or will have heard my comments that I made at the end. And basically, in a nutshell, they are, I like the product, the designer I'm not so sure about. And what I mean by that is, and that's what's pissing me off, is how these designers that create all this wonderful stuff that we buy and they tell us we must have it, a lot of them are very snotty personalities. Now, I have met Tim Holtz in person, and I will tell you one thing about Tim Holtz, besides the fact that I love him and I want to have his children, okay, is that Tim on video is exactly the same Tim you find in real life. He is a very genuine person, he's a very kind person, very knowledgeable, and he gives back to everybody. I mean, it must get trying for someone like Tim Holtz at every conference he goes to, at every workshop that he runs, that kind of thing, having people flocking around him wanting to have selfies taken with him and have his autograph. And he never turns anybody down. He does everybody. And I've watched him do it. I've seen it firsthand. He'll answer emails from you as well. Now, he's got to be an extremely busy person. I know Mario, who's his partner in business and in life, works as his assistant as well. But nevertheless, Tim does reach back out to you if you reach out to him. I know this from personal experience, and I really appreciate that. However, others don't. They're kind of the divas of the craft world, I guess. And one of those, okay, I'm going to say this, I don't want, maybe some of you have actually met this person or taken one of her workshops, and that's Vicki Boutin. But I reached out to her and I got nothing. Nothing. Not even a, hi, how are you? Or, thank you for your comment. That kind of thing. Nothing. Not even from her an assistant, if she has an assistant. I find that you're too big for your britches. And that's what happens with a lot of these. Well, let's face it, people. In the crafting world, what comes goes very quickly. Everything's very trendy. What's hot this month, next month is old news. And Vicki Boutin makes mixed media products. Hers are not unique. Jane Davenport does these. Dina Wakely does these. Diane Reevely does these. Tim Holtz does these. What's his name? It does. Ken Oliver does this. Seth Apter. You can go down a list. There's a list, and these people all have similar products. There's nothing new under the sun, really. And the reason these products sell is because of the personality of the designer. Like, look at Tim Holtz. And I go back to Tim Holtz all the time because he's really the gold standard of all of these people, I think. He makes quality products, but he knows how to sell them because he sells himself. Tim is a very upfront, honest person. That's the personality he projects, and as I've said, I've already met him, and that is his personality, period. But he makes you feel like you can trust him, that you're getting a quality product, that he wouldn't steer you wrong. You get other ones who are flaunting their products, and I say flaunting on purpose because that's what they're there. They're telling you all this stuff. You've got to have this. It's got to do that. You got to do that. And their personalities are very, very much like a used car salesman. Sorry if any of you are used car salesmen out there, but the stereotype of a used car salesman, basically. And it's, whereas someone like Tim Holtz, and even someone like Seth Apter, if you don't know Seth Apter, look him up, he's good too. They both, have this sort of I'm here to help you attitude. Not that you got to buy my product or you can't do anything with it. You can't do these kind of projects. So, I think these people have to keep in mind that we, the little people out there, are the ones buying their products. We make them or break them. Really, we do. And in this day and age of YouTube, where everybody can review a product, I think they want to be a little bit more careful. I think they want to keep in mind that their livelihood is dependent upon us and that they should treat us very nicely. They're not Cher, they're not Madonna, they're not Lady Gaga, whoever out there. They're in a very small piece of the world, and they must remember this. They do not have a cure for cancer. They do not solve world hunger. They do not bring world peace. This is a very small little piece of the overall world. And in the overall world, nobody knows who we are, really. We're not important as crafters. We do it for ourselves. And these people have to know that. So I guess the bottom line, what pisses me off, is the arrogance of designers in the crafting world. And they've really got to remember who it is that really made them and who it is who will break them. And that is our power as consumers. Okay, that was what was pissing me off this week. All right, so new stuff. Well, funny, on the tails of what's pissing me off, Vicki Boutin. Her crayons, get the glare off. And watch my review. It's very extensive. I try these in a variety of techniques, and the bottom line is I have to separate the designer from the product. Doesn't matter how I feel or the impression I have about the designer, the product is a good product. I like this product. I like it a lot. Am I going to buy any more of her products? Well, you know, I've already bought her glaze, okay, and I do like the glaze as well. But I looked to see what other products she has, and I don't think there's anything else that I want from her. She has some stencils. They're not phenomenal. She has some glitter. There's glitter all over the place. Hers doesn't look any more special than any other kind of glitter you can buy. She has some markers. The markers will fit, I think, by looking at the size of them, and they're made by American Crafts, and they'll work in your Cricut. However, I have a ton of markers that work on my Cricut. I don't need those. And just an aside to American Crafts, I had a lot of problems with their markers. Project Life had a set of pens back some time ago, and I think I've got a video way back, about 1.5 years old, on here where I talk about the problems I had with Project Life pens that were manufactured by American Crafts. Half of them didn't write, and I spent about $50–60 on this set of pens. I wrote to them, and well, that's on another video. You can look it up if you're interested, but ever since then I'm very leery about any pens or markers that are manufactured by American Crafts. That I got burned once. I guess that's why I feel that way. Maybe you've had great luck with them. So anyways, but her crayons, they're good. So check out that video. Okay, a new idea I have for my YouTube channel. You know, I watch a lot of YouTubes, and while I'm watching them, I have my cell phone in my hand open to a note page where I can keep notes on things, because I always come up with great ideas or inspiration when I'm watching a YouTube video. Even if it's a YouTube video showing me something I already know how to do, I usually glean some little small piece of an idea or a trick or tip or something that I want to try in the future. My problem is my memory is short. Okay, maybe it's my age, I don't know. So what I do is I jot it down on my cell phone in the notepad that I have there, and I'll come up with a whole list of, you know, in an evening watching YouTube videos, I'll come up with 6, 7, 10 ideas. So I put them in that, and then because everything in my house is wireless, I just send it to my printer and print out a page that looks like this, and these have all these ideas, and I date them. Every so often I go through them and I consolidate all my lists together to make one big list, and there it sits. But when I need inspiration, when I'm, you know, drawing a mental blank or something like that, I will go to one of these lists and look down and go, oh yeah, there's an idea I was going to try and haven't done that yet. Let's give that a go. So I thought, you know, I literally have hundreds of these items. I thought maybe each week I would share with you some of the ideas of the week that I have gleaned from the YouTube videos that I've been watching all week and share them with you. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm actually going to act on these ideas and do them, but maybe you will. Maybe it'll give you some inspiration. So here's what I have from the last week. You know that last week I went to a flea market and I bought some old records, because one of the ideas on my sheet says, mixed media piece on an old record. So I'm thinking of making some wall art, you know, doing it on an old record. Paint it, add my pieces, that kind of thing. Another idea is to do a textured piece as an abstract painting. What I mean by that is, I saw on one video a lady putting down some molding paste and different texture pastes just randomly across a canvas, letting it dry, and then she added her color, and it turned out beautiful. So I've already got one, it's still drying, sitting over on the side, that I have laid down all my textured paste, and today I'm thinking of going ahead and doing a painting with it. Another idea, using my embossing powders with oxide inks. I hadn't thought of that. I always think of when you use embossing powder to use it with like a Versamark, you know, for making it stick. I do know that people do it with pigment inks and things like that. But then I saw this one video where the lady was using the oxide inks. And yeah, the oxide inks stay wet longer, so why not? So that's something I've got to try. Now I've got here, do a journal page that includes an inclusion. What's an inclusion? Well, not a new idea, but in art journals, I have seen people stick tags or shorter pieces of paper right into the page itself and sort of use washi tape or something to hold it down. You've got like this little interactive flippy part in it. In fact, I think it's Deanne Reevely actually came out with what she called inserts or something like that, that were just basically tags, large tags that you mounted inside your journal into the, you know, the crease between the two pages. Wow, you need to buy those? I don't think so. You can make your own. So what I did in my cookbook journal is I've taken couple of pages and I've put in my own inserts. Now these are all gessoed. I haven't done anything on the page yet, but you see these are inclusions, and I've got a, I can't get it all in the shot, but I've got a wing on both sides, and I just put them in with masking tape, and I've painted over the masking tape, and we'll see what we're going to do. Actually I've got an idea of what I want to do. That's why I was doing a lot of print and cut JPEGs this past weekend, because I wanted things for that insert. So that is something I am going to work on this week, and I'll be videotaping that as I do it as well. Another idea, okay, old products. I saw, I think it was Mike Deacon, he was using gilding flakes. He had a different brand, but this is what these are, little gold leaf, copper, brass, whatever. These were all the rage about a year ago. Use something called flitter glue or flutter glue or something. Basically, you put glue down on a piece of paper, sprinkle these things in, scrape them all off, they stick, whatnot, and you've got sort of a gilded or metallic look. I don't think I've used these that much, mainly because I found them kind of messy. Like they go everywhere. But I saw methods for using them that make it a little bit less messy. And I thought, should revisit this. I've got them. Let's give it a go. So that's on my list as well. Other ideas that came up, that's just a few, but maybe those give you some ideas. So here's the last one that I really want to try. Jelly printing on a piece of chipboard that you've painted with crackle paste. You let the crackle paste dry, and then you put down your paint on your jelly plate and press it in like you would if you were just making a mono print with a piece of paper. And I thought that was quite cool. And that video, if you go to the, what do they call it, Jelly Arts YouTube channel, you will find, that's their latest video, you will find it, and it looks really cool. So I've got to give that a go too this week as well. So those are just some ideas that I may or may not get to. I have a lot more actually, but I just highlighted those one for your interest. So I think each week I'm just going to share some of those ideas with you, and maybe that will inspire you to do something new and fun. All right, so news. Well, the big news, of course, of the week was the release of the Cricut Maker. Now, it's a pricey tool. Actually, not that bad when you think about it. It's $399 US. It's costing me, with the shipping, given what I've already said earlier in this video, about $434 American. It comes out to about 500, I think it was about $565 Canadian. Yeah, okay, pricey tool. Yeah, it is a pricey tool. But if you own a Cricut, you know that it's probably worth the money. If you don't own a Cricut, you need a Cricut. Seriously. They do a lot of things, but this new one will cut material. It'll cut through heavier like chipboard and things like that, leather, suede, all kinds of different materials. That's why I wanted one, because I really want, now they haven't come out with it yet, but they are supposed to in October. They're coming out with something called the Razor Blade, which is a heavier duty blade that's meant to cut really heavy material up to 2.5 millimeters thick. So what I'm thinking is I want to be able to cut out my own wood embellishments because I use them a lot in mixed media. And it would be nice to be able to custom design pieces that I want and to be able to cut them out of like balsam wood, because that balsa wood is what this knife supposedly will cut through. So that's one of my reasons for wanting to get the machine. The other reason is too the material. I have a sewing machine. I'm not really much of a sewer, but I like using material and things like that on mixed media pieces, and I like the process of sewing as well. So this might make things a little easier because it will cut without a backing on your material. It has a rotary blade for this. It even has built-in patterns. Now I'm sure that right now you know all about this stuff, because how could you not? If you watch YouTube, it's all over YouTube. Everybody's been talking about it, to the point of making you absolutely sick about hearing about it. But it was the big news of the week. And I'm hoping that next week or very soon I will have big news of my own that I finally got the machine. We'll see how that all works out. Okay. Just as an aside here, okay, I guess I'm a fanatic about, well, it's a machine. More than that, I love machines. I do. I love crafting machines. I mean, I have a Vagabond, I have a Big Shot, I don't know how many trimmers and paper cutters I've got. I just keep buying them. Does anybody need 10? Yeah, that's probably how many I have out of it. You know, I've got a Cricut. It's my third Cricut. I have a Brother Scan and Cut. I have 4 computers in my craft room, okay? Not to mention a couple of iPads. I've got 4 printers, okay? I have a laminator. Yeah, I have a problem. I love machines. What can I say? So this will be another machine for the collection, but I did stay up so I could order it. Now apparently they had it on HSC, the Home Shopping Club in the States, and I don't think the Home Shopping Club will ship to Canada. So I didn't bother to order it there, but they ran out within minutes apparently. Amazon.com had it as well, but when I linked to it, it wouldn't let me go any further, wouldn't let me check it out for some reason, and then apparently they all disappeared on that as well. Actually, I checked out Amazon.com again the next day, and funny thing was, I could have ordered it, but they wanted an additional $103 for what they called shipping and taxes or duty or something like that to ship to Canada. That was $103 American on top of the $3.99 price tag American for the machine. Now the one thing about ordering it from Amazon, you know you're going to get it, but I didn't like that additional stuff there. As I said, I'm paying $14.95 American for shipping. That's why I'm a little worried. Am I really going to pay that? We'll see. I mean, the bottom line is this. It doesn't matter how much it's going to cost me. I'm getting that damn machine. Okay, it's simple as that. But it would be nice if it didn't cost me hundreds of dollars more for it. And some of you probably say, well, why don't you wait till Michaels gets it? Yeah, apparently the Michaels and Joann's stores in the States, some of them had them on the weekend. A lot didn't, and most of them were, the ones that did have them sold out very quickly. They didn't have that many. You know, it's going to be like up here in Canada. They're not going to get it for months and months and months. And then when they do, they'll get one and it'll be gone. As simple as that. And yeah, it'll be in Canadian price, but you're not going to make any saving on it because you can't use the coupons on it. So, you know, the only thing I'd be saving there is the shipping. Again, as long as the shipping's only $14.95, then that's okay. That's okay. So I want it now. That's the way I am. Okay, enough said about that. So what else is coming up this week? Well, we're off to Kingston on Friday. We're having lunch at very good friends of mine that I have not seen in years. Sort of grew up with her and her sisters. Back in the 60s, in the 70s, they lived next door to my grandparents, and every time I went down to visit my grandparents, I was at their place all the time from about the age of 5 or 8 or 6 to up into my teen years and that. And then we all went off and did our own thing with our lives, you know, got educations and whatnot. And we've stayed in touch over the years. But I think it's been probably 10 years since the last time I saw them. Oh yeah, at least that. So it's going to be nice. We're going down to see them, have an afternoon with them and whatnot. And then we've got a hotel room. Actually, we're staying at the college down there. A little known fact, if you don't know this, if you're going to some place and they have a university or college, check out whether or not they rent out their rooms on weekends. A lot of the residences in these colleges and universities do this. They run it like a hotel. And the accommodation, the few times I've done this, every time the accommodation has been just as good as a hotel. They've had private bathrooms. A lot of them come with like kitchen facilities as well. The one we're staying at on the weekend, for example, comes with a bathroom in the room. And it comes with a little kitchen and the whole bit. And it's fairly large. It has free Wi-Fi, the whole bit. And they even provide breakfast in the morning. I have stayed there once before and it was very good. And it's like something like $80, $85 a night. You can't get a room in a hotel for that price. Not in our area anyways. So it's pretty good. And it's relatively centrally located to whatever we want to do in Kingston. So, you know, check it out. It's a good bargain. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the weekend. Unfortunately, Kingston does not really have any scrapbook stores. They used to. They don't anymore. The closest one to them, I think, is one in a place called Shannonville, which is Ecstasy Crafts. But the problem with Ecstasy Crafts is on a weekend, they're only open till noon on Saturdays. And Shannonville is not real close to Kingston. It's not that far, but it's not that close. I think there's one in Cornwall. Cornwall's probably, I don't know, is it another hour east of Kingston? I'm going to look it up on the internet later today and just see if that's worth the trip to go. Because we're staying 2 nights in Kingston. Kingston's a beautiful little city if you've never been there, if you come to Canada. It's very historic. It's part of our history, pre-Confederation, all that kind of stuff. There's a big fort, Old Fort Henry. It's interesting to see. Kingston, I went there for university. I went there for 1 year for my teacher's college degree. And in those days, I'm talking back in the 1980, it was pretty much a hicky little town. Today, it's not so hicky. They've developed their waterfront because it's right on the lake, Lake Ontario, and they've got great places to eat. It's really a great place to go in the summer, especially. Kingston's very cold in the winter because of its location right on the lake. But in the summer, it's very picturesque. It's very nice. They've done up the waterfront, as I said, as an entertainment district. So it's worth going there. It's also the gateway to the Thousand Islands, and you can take boat tours, day trips kind of a thing to the Thousand Islands to see all that. I've done that several times in my life. I don't think we'll be doing that this time because, you know, once you've seen them, you've seen them. It's as simple as that. But yeah, so it's kind of a little, you know, mini vacation kind of a deal, because we really haven't done much this summer at all. Well, the weather hasn't been that cooperative, and I saw the forecast this morning, and the weekend's supposed to be a little cooler but nice. I can go with a little cooler but nice, like no rain would be really nice. So anyways, that's what's coming up. So that's it for this week, this vlog, and make sure you check out the new videos I've posted on the channel, and always love hearing from you, your feedback. I don't necessarily always get a chance to answer everybody, but I really appreciate the feedback. So have a great week, have a great weekend. See you next Monday.